Hello, my crafty clan, and welcome to another Eatsy News. Hopefully, an extra big edition this week, as last week I had a bit of the sniffles and was off sick. But I will still have probably forgotten some things, so if you've spotted anything newsworthy about Eatsy in the past couple of weeks, let me know in the comments below. But let's get into this. For some reason, that button doesn't work. So, our first one, usually my first subject I've been talking about this year is the brand new shops that have just opened on Etsy that are selling a lot. And yes, we have noticed some of them have been quite problematic, but this is, I think, the third biggest seller of shops that have opened, second or third, of shops that have opened in 2024. It is Melon Digital Art, which is 22 days old and has sold nearly 1,000 items. Has made 1,000 sales nearly. And I went to find out what that store was all about, and I can't, because we see the little fun Melon Digital Art is currently not selling on Etsy, which often means they've been shut down. So all I can say is that was quick. That might have been a shop was selling stuff they shouldn't be selling. I won't lie, it is definitely good if Etsy is up in their game and catching copyright issue people out quickly. Although for a shop that's only 22 days old, they also only had 4.5 stars average rating, which, yes, you get some horrible reviews, it can't be helped, but for that number of sales, you would be expecting to look at 5 stars. So they've maybe had some really, really unhappy customers. So I would love to know what they were selling. Well, it's digital art, but yeah, they got caught quickly. And if this is your shop and you were selling good stuff and whatever, yeah, Etsy does also close down shops by accident. So hopefully, if you just keep contacting them and keep talking to them, they'll get your shop back up again. Because if you were allowed to sell what you were selling, you've got a great shop there. If it was copyright infringing, I would just step away quietly and hope that nobody's out to sue you, because that was a lot of sales very quickly. Um, we've got a few bits of Etsy in the news this week or the last week. Probably most people have heard about the big explosion in the world of a new weight loss drug. It's been around a couple of years. Semaglutide is one of the names for it. I forget the rest. But it was in the UK, was it Channel 4 or the BBC, did a documentary on these magic weight loss drugs, and they were talking about some of the dodgy things about them. And one of the dodgy things was they were talking about how you can buy it online really easily, and that's not a good thing. And they mentioned, and I couldn't believe this, they said, oh yeah, just have a look, it's dead easy just to get on Etsy. And I went for a look, and yeah, you can get unregulated weight loss drugs on Etsy, which it's not handmade, it's not supplies, it's not vintage, and yet you shouldn't be able to sell medicines on Etsy. So this is just really, really bad. So yeah, Etsy, get on this, please. Because whenever I've thought of, you can't sell medicinal claim things, it's always been, I've thought, oh yeah, it's people selling face cream with essential oils in it, and they're saying it does things, not unlicensed, off-label, unlicensed, unregulated injectables. Yeah, let's just move away. I also see trouble. There's been quite a lot of Etsy in the news in the past couple of weeks. So this was in Stylecaster. Victoria Beckham's iconic "My Dad Had a Rolls Royce" T-shirt is back in stock. This is something that Victoria Beckham sells, but when I personally went over to Etsy, yeah, there's a ton of this being sold on Etsy. So yeah, just because it's a cool phrase, Victoria Beckham is as far as I know, pretty well known for chasing the copyright protection, kept protecting her brand. There was a story went out many years ago as she was Posh Spice in the Spice Girls, for everyone who doesn't remember that. She tried to trademark the term posh and was taking a football club in the UK to court, but it was ruled that they'd been called the Posh for far longer than her, and yeah, she had to back off. But I am pretty sure that she will not be cool with this. It sounds like it's saying they're back in stock. So this is a range that is active just now that she's selling out and recreating and everything. So she will want to protect this load. So yeah, Etsy sellers, stop it. Can't do this. Shouldn't do this. You could very well get into trouble. Let's continue with the more trouble. Taylor Swift fans are upset over unofficial merch crackdown. Such a bummer. And this was on Fox News. And this is a lot of customers. And this is the difficult thing. Customers, like Taylor Swift, on eRank, we've been noticing every month pretty much for the past couple of years, Taylor Swift is a trending keyword. It's lots of customers are searching for it, not knowing that Etsy sellers aren't supposed to be selling it. So there is a massive demand for Taylor Swift merch. I'm not doing words well today. There's this massive demand, and people are coming to Etsy, but you're getting comments like this is from the article. I want to buy an ornament from Etsy, but I've heard Taylor is closing down shops. I don't want to order something only to have the shop disappear. Has anyone heard of that? And yeah, oh yes, I've had multiple orders cancel or not show, and this is terrible. This is terrible for all Etsy sellers, that because customers are coming and buying things they shouldn't be buying from Etsy. Well, no, they can buy whatever they want, they're customers. Buying things that shouldn't be sold on Etsy, what is happening is they're purchasing and then Etsy's shutting down the shop. So customers in their droves are finding Etsy an unstable platform, basically. And then another person commented on their experience as an unofficial Taylor Swift merchandise. Yes, it's true. I was lucky enough only to have a listing taken down. Some are getting completely shut down. And yeah, not just lucky enough only to have the listing taken down. People are lucky only to have their shops taken down. We found the tail end of last year, a woman selling tumblers for some star was sort of accidentally, but not accidentally sued. What was it, like $250,000? It was all sorted out in the end, but you can get heavily sued for this kind of thing. And Taylor Swift has lots of trademarks for the words in her songs and everything, and the words that are recognized with her brand, and automatically has the copyright on her name. And quite probably it could be argued that sort of derivatives of her name, like Swifties, because at the end of the day, it's her brand that she's built up, and she has every right to make money off of it. And we don't. So there was some cool comments at the end. This is something that I think Etsy could maybe look into. Wouldn't necessarily work for Taylor Swift, but I know Redbubble, that's the one. Redbubble has a place for official merch, and it's companies that agree that it's okay to use their stuff, and they check and everything, so you're able to sell things. And it would be cool if Etsy was able to do that. But it's also very difficult, I understand. And it probably wouldn't be for the kind of merch you want to sell. I'm pretty sure that Taylor Swift wouldn't agree to this, but it would. She might. Look, if you're a massive Taylor Swift fan and you want to sell her merch, contact her team and ask her if you can do this. The answer's probably going to be no, but who knows? If it was yes, how amazing would you do? Okay, this is another one. Activist Elliot builds roughly 13% stake in Etsy and secures board seat. This was on CNBC, but I've seen it other places as well. I'm a little late with this because of being sick and everything. Elliot isn't a person. This is an investor. Was it Elliot Management? It's a company that my understanding is they do this a lot. So basically, they buy up enough shares to get them a big enough shareholder that one of their team gets a seat on the board. And they've had this at places like Pinterest and Dropbox in the past. Okay, how I feel about this. I don't like that we live in a world that really, really rich people or really, really rich companies can go, Etsy, I'm interested in this as a money scheme. I think I want to get on board and tell them how they should run it. And all they have to do is put in a load of money and they get on the board to work on, the direction of how the company is going to be run. I know this is how the world is, but it totally annoys me. Are they an expert in Etsy? Are there plans? Is there desire to jump on and make Etsy a great place for sellers and a wonderful artistic place? Or are there desires going to be to keep Etsy as profitable as possible to get the biggest, quickest return for them? Yeah, I might be overreacting, but I really, really don't like this. And as anything happens, you always get the Etsy shares shot up more than 10% on the news of this. Did they? But did they? Let's go and have a look. So if we look at the share prices, if you look on the left to start with, this is a month view. This is the past month of share prices, and where I put in the really artistically drawn arrow, you can see, does that look like an increase in prices? It's gone from low. It was on a dip, but it did take a step up, and it looks like it's been trending upwards. That looks good, right? But if I just zoom out as far as 3 months, look at what that graph looks like. You can see where that dip is, kind of all the way to the right, and you can see where it's shot up to, and it's shot up to lower than it was when Etsy was announcing sacking 11% of its employees. So has it shot up or has it just recovered after a bit of a dip? Who knows? But yeah, I hate these things when people go, oh, since the news, the share prices have shot up. Have you seen how variable the share prices are? Like Josh Silverman could fart or something, and you could say the share prices shot up or dropped. Or that it kind of annoys me that people pretend they're reading graphs when they're just making nonsense up. Anyway, okay, so I've had a lot of people contacting me and saying, this is bad. There's no longer the option to filter by categories. So when you select the filters, this is what I'm seeing. Let me know if anyone sees different. I didn't know you could filter by categories in the filters, to be perfectly honest. This shows how important I thought it was. And I'll come to this. I know that people feel that this is important and something that has been removed. Is this something you used? Is this something you noticed? I honestly, like I say, I didn't even know it was a thing. I don't use the filters. I feel if I'm on a site and I'm using the search, if I have to use the filters, then their search isn't very good. That's my feeling. Then again, Etsy's search isn't very good. I think we all agree with that. But anyway, I did dig into this a little bit deeper, and what I found, if you go to categories in the very top, so I went to bags and purses in the drop down categories, and then when I started to search for cat, up comes some options. So I could have just searched for cat, but it's saying, do you want to search for cat in bags and purses? So you can filter by categories. You can still stay in the category. Is it one more click? Not necessarily. Yeah, because otherwise you have to search and then go to the filters. This time you pick your category and then search. So, yeah, it's different steps. I know people aren't noticing it. So, you are going to be able to search for things in categories. Um, I don't use categories. Let me know. I am weird. Let me know in the comments. Do you guys use categories as buyers? We've got to think like buyers, and a lot of the time we really focus on things because as sellers, I know so many people worry is like, is my item in the right category? And spent a lot of time worrying about this and thinking, oh, if I just landed in the right category, my sales will skyrocket. It's probably not going to make that much of a difference, if we're honest. But so don't think like a seller and you think this is super important. Think like a buyer. And are categories important to you as a buyer? I know there will be to some people. So let me know in the comments. When do you use categories? Do you find them important? Um, and that is it for our 2-week Etsy news. All going well. I should be back next week with another edition. But if you find anything that Etsy's doing, Etsy spotted in the news, anything you want to talk about Etsy, let me know in the comments below. And thank you so much for joining me for another week.